We're live, Bob.
Hi, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to our Radnor Township Design Review Board meeting. Thank you for attending. As you probably know, this is kind of a temporary room tonight, and just be careful. I guess the acoustics will catch just about anything you say, so be careful what you say, even in the seats over there. So before we get started, I'm going to ask Colin to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, we have 5 applications tonight, and I guess we'll just ask you to kind of step forward and you can lay your plans out on the table in front of us. So the first application tonight is DRB 2018-09, the application of Plank Studio at 371 West Lancaster Avenue in Wayne for wall sign and window signage. So gentlemen, and just please let us know your name and the business you represent.
My name is Bob Richard from Future Signs and Graphics out of East Martin.
Okay, welcome. Okay, so Plank Studio originally was in the Cody building, and they're moving to the Stratford Shopping Center.
Yes.
Okay, so, all right, why don't you let us know what you have in mind?
Well, we were planning on using the existing sign that she had down at the previous location, and then just mount it on a raceway and then stick it on the wall. And then also for the window graphics, she wants etched vinyl for a little bit of privacy, so people walking by can't see everything exactly in there. But it would only go 40 inches up the window, so the top half would still be visible.
Okay, good. All right, so as far as the sign, I kind of figured out you're about 24 square feet.
Yep, around there.
And as far as the size in that location, you're okay.
Okay.
That would exceeded your square footage, so we're in good shape there. We also have a condition where they can't be over 15 feet from grade, but you're okay there. All the other fellows in that, all the other stores in that center are pretty much that height, so we're good there. You mentioned you're going to put a raceway.
Yes.
So I guess you'll try to match the color as close as you can to the background.
Yep.
Okay. Is the background in pretty good shape? Do it need some work, repairs, or anything
Nah,
like
actually,
that?
that space is in good shape.
It's in good shape. Okay, good. Tim, any questions for the applicant?
No.
Okay. Colin? Okay. I think that's a pretty cut and dry wall sign, so.
Yep.
Okay, so why don't you let us know what they plan on doing with the window signage?
Okay. Well, yeah, they want to add the etched vinyl, like I said, going across the front windows, and then door graphics with the business name and the hours that they advertise, as well as their phone number.
Pretty standard. In our code, you're not allowed to exceed 15 square feet of available window signage.
Okay.
Now,
I don't believe the etched.
I think we're going to be okay with that.
Right,
Yeah.
that's not really a
Since that's
sign.
not advertising anything, it's just like a privacy
Right.
blend of it
Exactly. I mean, just a Plank Studio.
Right.
on the door.
Yeah, I think you should be fine with that, so.
Okay.
All right. Any other things you want to present tonight?
That's everything.
Yes.
No comments?
Okay. The one thing we want to make sure of, and you may have it over in the transom there, but we want to make sure that your address number,
371.
yeah, is on the building, on the front, and
I
also
believe
the
it
back
is on the door now.
Yeah, could you make sure it's on the back door as well?
On the
Okay.
back door?
Yeah,
Yep.
the front and back.
Okay.
And at least 4-inch letters.
Okay, yeah, because I'm looking at the picture now, and they look about like the 2-inch ones from Home Depot.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep, we can change that out.
Okay, good. And there's a monument sign out front. Do you guys,
I
are
don't
you going to
believe-
change
I
that?
don't know, are you going on the monument?
Yes, only on one side going away from Devon, I
Okay.
believe. But We haven't done that yet, sorry.
Yeah, you're
I'm
the
Hillary,
owner.
I'm the owner.
Hi.
Yeah, so we'll only be on one side of the monument. I
Okay.
think that's all that was available.
Mhm.
So going east, down Lancaster.
Okay.
But I haven't spoken with the landlord on that portion of it.
We were just making sure you match the color.
It's a maroon
Yeah, there's
monument
consistency
with
on it.
white lettering,
Yes.
so everyone's exactly the same. There's no font change.
Okay, good. And I don't think you would in your business, but a lot of these A-frame sandwich board type signs been popping up around town.
Mhm.
They're not allowed.
Okay,
So.
good to know.
All right.
I'll return the one I bought. It's at home.
All right, okay. All right, what else, guys? John? Okay. Tim?
Good.
You're okay? Yep. Any questions for the board?
Do I need to come back for the monument sign then?
I don't believe so. No, as long as it's consistent with what you have there, so.
Okay.
All right. Okay, you're in good shape. All right, who would like to make the motion?
As a matter of DRB 2018-09, approval for Blank Studio to relocate wall signage from one location to new location at 371 West Lancaster Avenue in Wayne. Motion to approve.
Second, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, yeah, great. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next is DRB 2018-10, the application of M3P Partners at 427 East Lancaster Avenue in Wayne for ground signage, wall signage, awnings, and facade. Hello, Mark.
Good evening.
Hi.
Thanks for entertaining my application.
Okay, Mark.
Again, Mark Janicek representing M3P Partners, developers of 427 Lancaster Avenue. We're proposing a 22-unit condo new construction building. There are actually two separate buildings that are joined by a connector. There are 11 units in each building, approximately 3 stories tall, with a common parking lot below. So in today's design review board, what I was hoping to do is present the facade. And then obviously I know we also have to present lighting and signage. This project is approximately a 3-year project from start to finish. We have lighting picked out. We have not defined signage, and I believe our signage is going to be limited to what you're calling monument signing perhaps, which would be on the roadway, but that's not designed yet. What I was hoping to accomplish today was looking at the facade and getting your feedback, and then in a future meeting, present lighting and signage, obviously well before it's installed. So I would think that a presentation for lighting and signage might be something like 6 months away, unless you feel that we should come in here sooner, but certainly we would be doing that well before the installation of those 2 items. So I am prepared to talk a little bit about lighting if that's appropriate, but I think the our main goal today was to speak about facade.
Yeah, positively, let's do that.
So that being said, which I believe one of these may be submitted with your package, but I think these renderings are probably I'm going to try to stand them up here, but I guess I'll have to hold them. They're 2 different facades, and the structure is identical, the height is identical, the footprint is identical. What you're seeing is a option of a facade that is a little more traditional in design, and then you'll see a facade that's a little more modern in design. And we are looking for the design reviews feedback before we nail down. We wanted to make sure that there wasn't something with these facades that you weren't pleased with. So we're really kind of entertaining these 2 facades. And with your input, if you say they both look good, then ultimately our design team is going to move forward with one of them. If there was anything that you found to be an objection, then we would obviously take that into consideration. And I'm more than happy to specifically pinpoint some of these elements for you if you have any questions. And if it's easier, I'm happy to pass this around if you want to look at them up closely.
Can I just see the one on the right? Because I
Yeah.
think we have the other one.
Yeah, sure. The audience is curious.
So do you guys have a preference?
You know, I don't want to influence you. It's kind of funny because we have quite a big design team and a marketing team as well. And it's actually split in between. And I was influential in one of the designs, so I have a preference, but our group of about 10 people are split in the middle. I was hoping that you guys might be the breaker. So I think when you look at the one that was earlier submitted, which is this, the idea was modern meets industrial. And we're playing off of the industrial warehouse look, which you see in this area here. And then this center core, which is the stair tower in the main entry, was going to be more of a modern element. So behind this modern element is the common hallways on the 3 floors, the stair tower, and the elevator tower. So you would walk into the building, which a lot of glass and a much more modern contemporary feel. And then the rest of the facade, as you can see, is a much more traditional facade that has fenestration and the brickwork where the brick has different planes coming in and out, just to give it a little bit of an old world look.
What's the other shaft on the south elevation?
So this is a play on what an old warehouse would have been, old chimney flues.
Mhm.
And that was really a play on that to give it a feel of a more old industrial look. And those happen to be bathrooms in the units there, which is why you see very small windows for privacy. And in the other facade, you can see the more modern facade, that shaftway has gone away and the bathrooms are pulled inboard a little more.
So then in that one, the actual condos, the actual square footage of the condo would be actually increased by the little chimney flue?
Yeah, it's, I think, something like about 10 square feet. That's it, by moving it out.
And would that bump out then affect your zoning?
No, I think it's all within the building envelopes and all within the impervious coverages.
Well, as soon as I saw the one you're holding, I kind of reminded me of the former Radnor Middle School,
Okay.
Yeah,
a little bit.
yeah, it looks institutional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
Okay.
kind of like that.
Uh-huh.
But that's what it immediately jumped out that that's what it looked like, the former Radnor Middle School building. But
Can I see the other one again? I'm sorry.
Yes. It's kind of interesting because as I pulled up to the Township building today and I looked at the facade, which I haven't really looked at before, there are some echoes of that feel, which is a little more modern and
Right.
I don't know, would you consider that institutional? You might. This
I'll be honest, when I
building
first saw the one that's in the packet here,
Uh-huh.
it reminded me of a lot of projects I've seen where it's been an old warehouse that has been renovated. I know,
Right.
I remember looking at one up in like the Phoenixville area one time,
Mhm.
and I remember
Yeah.
it was nice because it took what was there and kind of made it feel like it was already there and incorporated it into and
Right.
repurposed.
Yeah, and that was the idea. We were actually toying with the look as if these were 4 smaller warehouse buildings that were connected by this new modern structure. So your observations are actually one of the approaches that we took.
So where did the 2 buildings join?
So if you'll look closely in this area, again, both your facade that you're looking at in your package in here, because the footprint is identical, this little recessed area, and
Right here.
this is the connector. And
Okay.
so this building is the exact same building as this building. And this is a little connector in here. And the connector is because the parking lot is common. So when you pull off of Lancaster Avenue, you make a left into the garage, and you could actually continue all the way underneath both buildings and then circle out the opposite building. So it's more or less like an oval pattern of entry and exit. So the connector allows you to drive right through all the buildings. And that's just a 1-story connector.
What's in the connector?
Below grade, not below grade, on grade is parking.
Okay.
And then above grade, that's going to be a green roof with plantings and shrubbery and things like that.
Is the green roof accessible or?
It is accessible. The question that we have right now is whether it's going to be dedicated to the 4 units that walk out, and they may be premium units, just as we're going to have 2 penthouses on the top floor that would be premium units.
Right.
And it's more likely that we're going to do that versus it common to everybody because of limitations of access. On the front, obviously, it's 10 foot off the ground, so you can't very well easily access that. And so it's landing that it's probably more appropriate to have that dedicated to the 4 units, 2 in each building.
Would it be partitioned at all?
Yeah. Yep.
What type of partition would it be?
Fencing and greenery, shrubbery.
Mark, we'll ask you to come back to your landscape plan when you come
Okay.
back for lighting and signage.
Okay.
All right.
So that's a good point as we're walking through, so that I have good clarity and good information when I return. exactly what you need. So a detailed landscaping
Yeah.
plan. We actually have specifications of the lighting fixtures, and I don't think we're going to change that. So as I said, we can wait, or if you wanted to talk
No,
about that, whatever
we can wait,
is
yeah.
appropriate. And one of the other things, I guess, is for Kevin, in our steps approval, which we've had some discussions before, I'm assuming that this is one of the prior steps, obviously, before building permits, that we have a design review board.
Yes, this is a prerequisite prior to the building permit stage.
Got it.
Absolutely.
Mark, I don't know, if Mark spins those around to the camera, pick that up then.
Sure.
Where's
Right
the
on
camera?
table.
Straight behind.
Ah, okay.
Then what's to the immediate south of the elevator stair tower? Is that like a curtain wall system?
So the south of here.
Yeah, right here.
Yep, so
Curtain
that
wall?
is, that's exactly right, it's glass. So you're seeing the edge of glass that is 3 stories, and what you're
That's
looking.
common elevator lobby?
That's correct. You're looking at the lobbies, the hallways of the 3 floors that service the units, and behind the tower itself is the stair tower.
Mhm.
And then behind that is an elevator tower, which you can't see in this rendering.
So what is this material?
That material is a metal panel, and if it's not in your packet, I actually brought 4 packets for you all with a lot more details of materials. And in here I could give you guidance as to what that metal is. And there's 2 different metals spec'd in here, only because of the 2 different facades. So as you leaf through that, I'll find for you the sample spec materials. So you'll see a cover sheet called ATAS. And there are, the material that's shown on this cover sheet is not, but that's the manufacturer. So as we further look through that, you'll see a couple different specs of profiles. So that's one attachment, and this is what that would look like. And then the specific sheet that we're contemplating, to your question, the best picture out of this is in this bottom left-hand corner, which is a interlocking metal panel. Yep, that's it. And those individual panels come in different scale, from 1 foot to 2 foot to 3 foot to 4 foot, etc. And we're thinking about a panel that's approximately 2 by 4. And you see they're interlocking panels. Now, with the other facade, the more modern, this is the more traditional facade, it would be more of a linear panel, not this corrugated industrial again, but in here, it's actually this second from the top down. And these cut sheets really don't do justice for it, but it's more of a vertical panel as compared to almost like a quilt patchwork panel. So the more traditional has the patchwork panel, the more modern has a linear, larger scale panel. And on the, there's 2 different panel configurations. On the upper roof, you'll notice that it's the linear panel that I'm referring to, and then the stair tower is very similar in both of them, but in this particular image, different colors. So this is a darker color, this is a lighter gray color. And then again, in the package that I just gave you, you see that there's obviously various colors that are available.
Mark, your neighbor on the one side is the Aberwick Apartments.
Correct.
And how about on the other side?
They're owned by the same family, brothers, Aberwick, and I'm drawing a blank on the next, but you're correct. There's one on the
Apartment
east and
also.
one on the west.
Okay.
They're both brick apartment
Does
buildings.
one complement, one plan complement their buildings any better than the other? do you
Well,
feel?
I think the idea was why we introduced brick predominantly is because we wanted to be respectful to the neighboring properties, and it's not only left and right that has red brick, but across the street as well is a brick apartment building.
Okay.
So though we would be doing a brick that's a little more character engraved, we want to complement those colors, and that was the idea, to stay, since it's a predominance of brick in that area,
Right.
to play off of that.
Mhm. What else, guys?
So it looks like the roof, there's gonna be roof decks?
We contemplated that, but I don't think we're going to do that. If that comes back, I guess that would be something that I would submit in landscaping. Would that be the appropriate thing, Kevin, if we do a roof deck, if we propose a roof deck?
Yeah, any changes that you're going to then move forward with from an approval tonight or seek further clarification, you just bring that back and
Got it.
handle it at that time.
Got it, okay.
Just ultimately, Mark, it's gonna be your decision.
Yeah, you like,
Just
again,
looking for some guidance.
yeah, we recognize that, but as you can imagine, it's one of those things that's tough to make a choice.
Yeah,
because
for
they're
sure.
both, and
Mhm.
before we finalize, I thought, it's worthwhile getting some input, because there might be
Yeah.
some valid input that the design review board thinks about that we haven't thought about.
Sure. When I see the newer, the two designs, it kind of, to me, it almost looks a little bit like the condominiums behind the Land Rover.
Yeah, Pembroke North.
Yeah, I see a little bit of that, and I don't know if that means anything or not. I mean,
Right.
it's about a quarter mile away from you, so,
Correct.
but for what that's worth.
Mhm.
Yeah.
With the newer model, then at the base there, that'd just be concrete brick.
The idea is to emulate limestone,
Okay.
and it's probably going to be cast concrete, so it's not like a split face or a raw concrete. It's more of a element, a CMU, a concrete masonry unit, but it more emulates limestone. So if you look at this, it would be very similar to what you have on the facade of this building, which I'm not sure if this is limestone or cast stone. They're very similar materials.
What do you think, Al?
I'm partial to this one, but again, it's your decision ultimately.
Yeah,
Bob, how about you?
I like the,
I like the other one, actually.
Okay.
So we're-
Tim? Keep it
Deciding
going.
vote. We're deciding vote.
Again, I think both look nice.
Yeah.
They both have nice clean cut edges, and I think they present well. Personally, I would tend to agree with Colin on this one, but just
The more traditional.
the more traditional, and that's just a personal preference.
Kevin? No comment? Thank you, no comment?
I know where you were leaning there.
Yeah.
Windows will be what, aluminum, vinyl?
They are going to be clad in black exterior.
So
and
black no matter what.
yes, yep. Either facade has black windows.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully we've given you a little bit of guidance.
Sure.
And, do you have any other questions for us?
Not really. I guess maybe just the next steps on the process. So we're going to end up with one of these. Would I have to submit this is the one? Or is it, knowing that the facades are very similar, the footprint stays the same, the tower stays the same, it's really just the material finish that.
You're coming back anyway, so I think it's, you just wrap everything up in one package and, this is the facade that we're going with. These are the materials, maybe even a few actual material samples.
Sure.
And you bring everything in, just from the buildings that I don't know that you need to bring in lights.
Right.
At that point, but
Okay.
landscaping, maybe some elevations of the landscaping
Mhm.
sections through the property,
Mhm.
and go from that.
So for our building permit, what's the next step? Is that
Getting
what
your
you're saying?
grading permit.
But do you want to see another submission before building permit or not necessary?
Yes, this all has to be wrapped up before the building permit
Okay.
process.
All right, fine. So one more. So presumably, next meeting, we would be in front and you'll see one of these and it'll probably be not too much of a discussion because we've already had it, but I can do exactly that. We could actually bring samples of the materials at the next submittal. So I'll probably want to get on the next agenda. Would I resubmit another application, or is it like a continuance that would take us to the next?
New application with the specifics with the landscaping and whatnot,
Okay,
if you could.
so landscaping's fine.
Just to keep things clean and neat and not
Uh-huh.
confusion.
And how about the signage and the lighting? Can that be a future submission?
You can, you prefer if everything's at once, it makes it easier on the board instead of revisiting it.
Okay.
But that's up to you.
Okay. Well, as I said, we have the lighting already selected, so that's easy. Landscape is already done, so that's easy. I guess the other thing then, so I'm well prepared for the meeting, is talking about the signage. So the only signage on the building is the numbers.
Right.
Then I don't know if that's even considered signage.
And you said maybe a monument sign.
Yeah, so a monument sign, is this what we, and these are, I took photographs of all the neighboring properties. So is that what you consider monument siding?
Yes.
Which all these pictures are up and down, the adjacent
Right.
properties. So when we look at Pembroke North, that's like a substantial monument sign. Is that like, I guess the ordinance spells out
The
the
ordinance
square
does
footage
spell out what
and-
you're permitted, and if you have some rough ideas, you should come over to me, and we can take a look at it and do a preliminary zoning
Right.
review on it.
But generally speaking, I noticed that most of the signage is similar in size, and that's probably what we're going to go for.
Well, it's dictated in the language too.
Yeah, okay.
Top of your head, what it is.
Yeah, it's, well, he's in residential, so he's gonna get you're gonna get a pretty good bang for your buck, so. As far as size goes and everything, so.
But it appears that those signs are somewhere in the range of 5 foot by 5 foot?
Yeah, you're gonna be on probably up to 30 square feet,
Okay,
yeah.
all right, great.
No higher than 8 foot high.
15.
He's an R6.
R6, yeah.
Percentage for multifamily dwellings is 15 square feet.
15.
So that's-
Oh, you know what, I'm sorry, you're right, because we just had the one across the street kind of, that's right, what I'm saying, yeah.
So
Commercial's 30, 15. 15.
3 by 5 or whatever derivative thereof.
Right.
Is there a maximum length if we decided we wanted to go with like a low thing that's maybe 30 inches by,
No, it's more a height restriction.
Okay.
Of 8 foot, but yeah.
yeah, it's unlikely that it would be
Lower.
high. It's
Mhm.
more likely that it would be linear and lower.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay,
Yeah,
All right.
15 feet on that, yeah, residential.
okay. So I got that. That's easy for us to have prepared for the next meeting.
Okay.
I guess the last question that I have is during construction, what's allowed? So I don't know if you've driven by the site, you've noticed that we've put chain link safety fencing, 6-foot high chain link fencing around the property. And also we have offered up to the fire company if they want to do training there over the next week or 2 weeks, which I think they are going to do that, so that's probably a heads up. I don't know what the process on that, Kevin, is. They said they handle everything.
What's that?
Fire company doing training on the property.
Oh, that I don't know. I'd have to check with the fire companies on that.
Yeah.
That was something that we discussed.
So they said that they handle all of that stuff. But in any case, independent, sorry to divert for a second. My question was on the chain link fencing, what kind of marketing signage can we do?
There's development signs in the code that allow for that. It spells that out in there. Non-illuminated, 6 square feet, height of 8 feet, and can be up from final approval up till the completion of active work.
Okay, so I noticed on, I think it's Plantation Avenue, there's a 4-unit development.
Plant Avenue.
Okay. They have a banner that's short but long.
I'd
Same
have to
thing?
take a look at that and
So it doesn't
see.
matter what the shape is, so
Correct.
like 3 by 3 is 9 square feet, but it could be 1 foot by 9 foot if you wanted.
Correct.
And the fence is no taller than 6 feet, so if we want to do a nice linear, it's probably okay, just as long as we don't exceed that. And a vinyl type banner, I assume is acceptable?
Yes, and I believe those are exempt from this board in terms of approval for that. Unless this board has any concerns.
I know on commercial areas, temporary banners have to be.
The temporary banners.
Yeah, office.
Yeah.
So if we wanted to do something like this, coming soon, it would have to be limited to 3 foot by 3 foot?
Yes.
Can you
No, 6 square feet.
So that's 2
2 by
times
3.
2 by 3 feet. So that's teeny. You can't do more than 1 sign? I just wonder, I've seen throughout well, I shouldn't say that in our township, but I've seen much larger banners than that size.
Hey, Mark.
If you see them, bring them to my attention, we'll deal with them.
Well, I'm forced it, I like them. So there's no, like, other areas of the code that allows marketing banners? It sounds like it's just simply,
In this case, it would be a development sign.
and that is
And I can take a look again and see, but what's coming right up is the development sign.
Okay. All right,
Hey, Mark, I'm sorry, on your monument sign, you can only go 6 foot
fine.
in residential. 6 foot and only 1 sign along the road,
Mhm.
so.
Both sides, of course.
Both sides.
East and
One
west.
side, both sides.
And
One
can
side,
that
both
sign
sides.
be illuminated?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, guys, any other comments? No comment? Nope. Okay, Mark, you're all right?
I'm good. So new application is what I think, Peggy, you said,
Right, and by the 18th,
by the 18th of,
April.
so 7 days from now. Okay. Is there more than one, or is it only 1 meeting per month? All right. Here, I thought I had enough time. Okay, very good.
Mark, do you want these back?
Sure, unless you need
Yeah.
them.
Oh, no, what do you need back?
Folder.
You could hold on to it if you want it.
You want to hold on to at least one for our,
Yeah, sure.
okay, we'll hold on to one.
Not sure what
Okay.
the packet was.
Great.
That. that information over here. Well, hold on. Yeah, I guess we'll make some sort of approval forward, something like that. Maybe just lay out what we talked about as far as coming back, sort of landscape and stuff. Lighting, informal approval, doing that.
Okay. Are we continuing this one, or is it coming back as a new?
Well, you want to continue it, or you?
No, I think a new application, I don't know that the board needs to take action, at this point, if that's okay, because you're gonna come back.
Usually continue it. If they don't take action, we'll continue it, allow him to come. Since he pays them, so.
Okay, yeah, we'll continue it, but,
All right.
yeah, and we'll just get with the application as to what new submissions that you haven't identified in there, just to make sure that the application, or may need an amended application.
But I would still need the info by the 18th.
Got it. Okay.
You need a motion?
Who should I follow up if I need clarifications? Peggy, you? Peggy?
Yeah.
Okay. So Peggy, I may call you.
Technical things from the zoning, you can get ahold of me.
Okay. All right.
So Tim, go ahead, should I make a motion, please?
In the matter of DRB 2018-10, the application by M3 Partners LLC regarding the property at 427 East Lancaster Avenue. The applicant will be returning upon filing a new application combined with the, I guess, landscaping and lighting, and to be considered later. And so at this time, I move to continue this matter.
Okay, and signage also.
And signage.
Okay. Do we hear a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, Mark, we look
Okay.
forward to seeing you next month then.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, Mark. All right, next on the agenda tonight is DRB 2018-11, the application of KM 361 Really Associates, 550 East Lancaster Avenue in Wayne, for an addition.
These are just slightly adjusted.
That's right.
Thanks.
The cameras pick up.
There's a pretty wide range in that.
Really? Okay, good.
Should.
Okay.
Well, not now.
Okay, well, that's going to twist it.
That's fine.
Good evening.
Did they get the new?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
So, Ken Marshall with KMO 361 Realty Partners. We're coming to you today for St. David's Square for one of our tenant spaces and just some reconfiguration to entries at one of those tenant spaces. You may be aware, we had one of our anchor tenants leave the center here recently, and so we are working with some new tenants to reoccupy those spaces. The existing tenant occupied the whole space. We're now proposing to divide that space into two. The existing tenant had one entry, we need two entries, so that's really why we're here in front of you today. It's a very limited impact to the site. We're modifying the sidewalk slightly in order to accommodate the new entry, and then adding some additional green space on the back side.
Ken, could you just orientate the board as to where Lancaster Avenue is on that?
Sure. So Lancaster Avenue is here. The giant store, which is on the second level, faces the rear parking lot, and then we have the other tenants that face the front parking lot, and the Micro Center building is off to that side.
So this was formerly Bed Bath & Beyond.
Formerly Bed Bath & Beyond, yeah. And with me today, I've got our civil engineer, Rob Lambert, and our architect as well. So, and this probably tells the story the best, but it's we really were this is close to the existing entry. This is the new entry they were creating, and then basically creating backdrops for new tenant signage. And Nikki can speak to the materials and those sorts of things.
The only comment before you get started, I think, I don't know the exact heights, but I think, you know, you're only allowed 15 feet from grade for your signage. I'm gonna bet you're a little bit over 15 feet on that.
Probably a pretty safe bet.
Yeah, and I think that's why Bed Bath & Beyond, they put their
That's right.
signage
It was
on the wall
here.
there. Yeah, to
Yeah.
keep it under 15 feet, so.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I'm good.
Oh, no, I appreciate that, thank you. Just to talk a little bit about the materials, we selected materials that would complement what was existing out there. We're utilizing ephes for the majority of the renovation, and then ephes at the base for durability. And the idea is to keep it monochromatic so that the masonry would complement the ephes. So for the entry locations, we're proposing a dry-vit super white limestone finish with a white masonry for basis of design. And then for the adjacent storefront here, we're proposing using a sandblast, a dry-vit sandblast in a winter brown, which you can see is a little more red than brown, with a base that complements it as well. For the actual storefront itself, the aluminum storefront, we're proposing like a oil rubbed bronze, something traditional finish there. And that's it for the materials. Signage.
I mean, we're still working with the tenants on the signage as to how big they'll be and where they'll go and all that. But I think generally, you know, we like the scale of the facade, so hopefully the signage will work, and obviously we'll be back with the
Right,
signage.
for sure. Okay. Is there going to be landscaping involved also? Changes in the landscaping?
We're returning some of the property to pervious because of doing some of this canopy work here. So there will be a little bit of landscape work on the back of the property, as Ken mentioned.
Just very minimal.
Okay.
We're estimating that the work out on the north side of the property is estimated to be about 316 square feet, so we're going to be returning that square footage to pervious.
Okay.
There's a lot of room along what is currently the home goods. There's a lot of extra concrete walk.
Right.
So,
So they're developing these larger sign bands, and then they're not going to be able to use them, so is there a way to allow them to use it? Is there an appeal process?
Well, I guess
If there's existing signage there, we would look at the existing signage setting the nonconformity. If there's not, then you'd have to go to zoning hearing board.
Got it. Understood.
like I say, I'm
Well,
making the assumption.
it's clearly, it's here, it's
Yeah.
marked, the first, 1905
Yeah.
to the,
oh, that's a good point.
Oh, the canopy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rear, on the
Yeah,
side.
that's what I did.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. We're also proposing adding a canopy over the existing loading dock on the back side. That would just be a prefabricated, there's an existing wall that's obscures your view to the loading dock to start. So we're proposing a prefab canopy that would just cover that and attach to that wall.
Could you show them where that is on the drive coming up between Micro Center?
Yes, it's right back here. I think it's shown on the plan that was submitted.
Would that roughly be at the same height as that existing wall?
Yes.
Okay, so it's just kind of be sealing that.
It would be visually obscured. You wouldn't really- It's not an element to be seen.
Are you doing anything with that existing wall, or just, it looks like, is there going to be a change to the facade of the wall up front? No. Okay.
I guess lighting is going to be built.
Lighting would be built in to the canopy, so it would be recessed cans or LED that would be up under there to
Okay.
light that entrance.
Okay.
And so you're splitting the space on the inside to accommodate multiple tenants as one loading dock that's going to cover both of them? Okay.
It's a three-bay loading dock, so
Yeah.
one compact and then each share, then each one will have their own.
Okay, perfect.
That's one.
Right. All right, anything else we should be aware of that's going on? Okay, so I guess you'll come back for signage naturally. I guess that's probably the only issue I guess we're gonna have as you come back. So, I don't know, is there anything else, Kevin?
On the monument signs, how are you doing that with, Bed Bath & Beyond was out there, so if you're gonna have two, is one getting it, or are you gonna divide that up more?
We're still working on that with sort of how we will reconfigure the monument sign, but we don't see it changing really from what it is today in terms of its size.
Yeah, and same color scheme then.
Same color
Actually,
scheme,
yeah.
right? I mean, there may be some tenants that, some smaller tenants that come off of that sign, and the larger tenants would go back in their
Okay.
place.
So you'll bring that in.
It would all
before us.
match the, I think it's
Yeah.
of a brown, red color, and
Sure.
white letters.
Okay, and you'll bring that before us also?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I'm correct, you're looking at the image that it's, you're adding windows to the new space.
Correct.
And the
then-
existing windows that are there for what was the Bed Bath & Beyond entrance are still gonna be there, or you modifying
New
that?
windows.
New windows.
Yeah, so removing the entry feature that's there and putting in.
So it'll be an open entry rather than the enclosed
Yeah.
entry, I guess?
Well, currently, I don't show it in plan. Yeah, it'll be reconfigured to be more of a rectangular vestibule versus the stepped vestibule that's there now.
And with the new finishes, so the storefronts will match from store to store.
And is Home Goods getting a new storefront?
Home Goods is not.
Just curious.
Okay. So it looks like you're gonna be allowed 60 square feet for each sign.
Okay.
One sign for each building, 60 square feet each sign, so.
I know we have to come back for it, but what is your thought on the height, given the, if we had to go seek a variance or something for where that would fall on the building?
Yeah.
Just because of
Of the bank, I thought one of them up there may have looked at a variance, maybe
No.
up in the bank.
The back we did approve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we've had anybody in that location.
Usually if you come here before the variance, it would be conditioned upon, getting the necessary relief.
Right, and that's why I was asking,
Yeah.
just asking for your feedback of, what your thoughts would be on that height there, because it is the separation distance from Lancaster Avenue, and the topography really almost pushes that sign up higher just from a sightline standpoint.
In order to see it from the roadway, you're saying?
Right.
Right.
I don't have any issues.
Yeah,
I- Depending on the specifics, don't think I would make a petition to have that opposed.
Okay.
Sounds as if it's reasonable height.
Right.
Is this being done for specific tenants or just to divide the space?
We're working with one specific tenant now, the other one is more spec.
But it's basically splitting it into two, right?
It is. Right now, one space is slightly larger than the other, so I'm splitting it in half, but ending up with two tenants.
Still retail?
Retail tenants, yep, and very complementary to what the tenancy that we have there.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? No, we're good. Tim, you're good? Kevin?
No, good.
Any other questions for us?
No.
Okay. John, you want to make a motion? Well, I guess we'll ask them to come back for signage.
So the signage would be a new application?
Yes.
Okay. So, matter of DRB 2018-11, KMO-361 Realty Associates. Motion to approve new facade renovations to the property at 550 East Lancaster Avenue. Motion to approve. Second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Great, thanks.
Thanks, Fred.
Thank you.
We'll see you in just a month or two, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
All right.
Hopefully.
Okay. Okay, next is DRB 2018-12, the application of Buena Vista Mexican Restaurant at 18 West Avenue in Wayne, zoned under the Wayne Business Overlay District for wall signage and window signage.
Hello, how are
Hi.
you? My name is Sunny Martinez, and my husband and I are the owners of Buena Vista Restaurant. I'm very sorry I did not inform myself, educate myself on what I had to bring. So I did not bring anything. I'm hoping that you're able to consider what, oh, thank you. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Okay, so what we have in mind is we are hoping to get approved for the awning If you take a look at the one that has the 3 different pictures, we are hoping to get approved for the one that has the 3 colors on each awning. The red on one side, the white and the green. And we want it to be something very colorful, kind of what the interior part of the restaurant looks like. It's something different, something that would catch people's eyes, attention, and when they're driving by, and people on the train too.
You mentioned in your application, you were thinking of painting the awnings, the existing awnings? Painting
Yes.
them or changing them?
I believe if he was gonna remove them and he was gonna paint them.
Okay.
What are they currently made of, do you know?
I'm sure they're probably umbrella. That application came before us, and usually suggests umbrella, like a heavy cloth.
I don't know how that holds up to
That-
painting.
That's my question.
It's a dark color as it is right now, right?
It is. I believe it's a black.
It's black, yeah. It's black. What do you feel about the colors? Certainly gonna pop.
Yeah.
Very colorful.
They're bright.
Yeah.
Would it be helpful to have a color chip of the paint? Because every printer prints.
Well, it's gonna be the Mexican colors, I assume, right? Kind of the flag, Mexican flag colors.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So it's fairly close, right? Maybe the green's maybe not quite as bright, but.
Would the green match the same green as proposed on the sign? Or would it?
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
because in this picture, clearly they don't match, but
Okay.
would they be a uniform green, or would it be different shades of green on the sign versus the awning?
From my understanding, they were going to match. They were going to be, well, from what I know, they were going to be that type of green.
So I know the one sign is already up. The neon sign's already in place.
Yes.
Is the other sign been made or not?
No, we told them just to wait, just
Okay.
because we wanted to get approved. We don't know how
Okay.
it works.
Sure.
But we're just hoping to get approved for the sign in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
3 different colors.
Okay. So what do we feel about the awnings? I mean, it's a little risky, I think, painting those awnings, but I don't know.
I don't know how it works.
Yeah, I don't know how it works either. I don't know if it's,
I actually want to hear from your sign guy, what the process is.
yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Because like, say you get a heavy rain, and I just don't know how they hold up.
Any experience with that, Kevin?
No, but it's got the potential to be a maintenance problem that we're going to be dealing with if it does start to flake and peel. And
Right, right.
we will get complaints in that area, the
Mhm.
town absolutely.
I mean, out of the 3, I prefer the one with the 3 colors.
Okay.
But
All right. What do you feel, Tim?
No, I mean, I agree with the concerns as to the painting of it. I think without having any further information about the paint, especially, I mean, there's all different types of paints. We want to make sure it's a correct type of paint for this type of application. I think that.
Is it a function of cost? Is that why you're looking to paint them rather than put new ones?
That is kind of one factor. And he said the one that would be more cost effective for us right now, it would be the painting.
And you guys don't like the black
We
existing?
don't. And that's just because it's not, we want something very unique. We want something colorful and something that will stand out. And unfortunately, we're like all the way in the end if you want to consider of what's in place right now on Route 30. So we want someone, to be, if they're like at the corner of the Great American Pub, or on the train station, for them to be able to see us.
I think I'll see this
black.
from my house. I live right around the corner.
Okay. That's why we would prefer something very bright and colorful, something different.
All right, so we're okay with the color, we're just not sure about the paint. I guess we could always say, hey, you can try it, but if it doesn't work out, you're gonna be forced to change that.
Yep.
And use a sunbrella and,
There's provisions in the zoning code for upkeep of signs that we would cite them
Okay.
under if necessary,
all right,
or property maintenance.
okay. All right, so we can.
So they run the risk of a fine?
Well, no, it would be a courtesy notice first, and
Courtesy
then
notice.
an informal enforcement notice if we don't get any traction with the courtesy notice, and then should they still not, then yes, we would go
Gotcha.
that route.
So ultimately, if a notice was sent out, then they would have to then either correct it or they'd be back here for a new awning.
Right.
All right. Fair enough.
Thank you so much. I
Okay. All
appreciate
right,
it.
well, don't run off, we're not finished.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
All right. Okay, so that was just the awnings.
Any wording on the awnings?
Not on the awnings. We, at some point, we thought of putting, what's it called? It's the,
Like a logo?
yes,
Okay.
on top, like on the middle, on the white part of the awning, but it's with the Mexican
The
flag.
seal?
Yes,
The seal that's
Yeah.
actually on the Mexican flag.
seal,
So it
which-
would be essentially you'd have 2 Mexican flags as your awnings.
Correct.
Well, keep in mind, you can only put any logos or writing on the drop, just the front facing of the awning.
Oh,
And it can't be
okay.
any higher than 8 inches.
So it would
you
be,
can't use it on the, you can't put anything on the slope.
it would be like on the valence
Yes.
part? I
Yes.
think it would be, okay.
Yeah, so,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
so really you're only allowed to have your name of your business, your website, your phone number, your address number, or if you want to put a little logo there.
Oh,
So
okay.
you're kind of restricted is what you can put there.
Okay.
So maybe just start out. You can have enough signage as it is, so
Okay.
I don't know, because you're going to need that.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right, Okay.
And the logo has to be consistent with the business logo.
Yeah, yeah.
So it wouldn't have,
That'd be pretty tough, so. Okay, so, all right, so you're looking to put the Mexican restaurant in between the 2 awnings?
Yes, correct. And that would be an LED sign, something, again, something bright. I would just be a light that would light up like a light box.
What's the official name of the business?
Buena Vista Restaurant LLC. If you put Mexican.
Looks like there's a gooseneck on that.
Above it?
Yeah. So you're saying that Buena Vista Mexican restaurant, you want to, how do you want to fabricate that? What's,
Oh, it's going to be as is. So Buena Vista is the green part. And then, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot about that.
as far as the materials though?
I'm sorry, I didn't see that one. Yes, so it's going to be the Buena Vista, the name,
Mhm.
on the green part, Mexican in the white, and restaurant in the red.
Okay.
And that's going to be a box, not a light up box, but just the same that we have in place right now. Just going to change the wording on it.
Well, it looks like in your application it says decal vinyl
Okay.
on existing aluminum board.
Okay. Yes.
And I guess it would be lit with the gooseneck overhang
It'd be
lighting.
a light shining on it, not actually coming from behind.
It looks like you have a little light over
Mhm.
top.
And then the neon sign, is that hang or how is that affixed?
It is, and that is, we have like a space between the door and the sign, which is actually glass, and that's where it's in place and secured.
So the neon sign is actually indoors.
Yes, it's not outside.
It's kind of redundant. Don't you feel?
Yeah, I would almost say get rid of the neon.
I would too, yeah. I mean,
It's a lot of color.
it is.
I would really appreciate if you would let us keep it, just because of the train and just because that place is really, it's hidden, it's all the way in the back.
Well, they're gonna see you with the new awnings.
Also, the way that it would read there, it would say Buena Vista Mexican Restaurant, Mexican Restaurant. If you look at it, just looking at it, it looks like there are 2 signs
Okay. If
right
not, then,
like right underneath each other, almost.
or if we could just have it say Buena Vista on the board, and then just keep the neon sign that said Mexican restaurant. You
Put
can do
Buena
that.
Vista in the middle at the
Yes.
white.
Yes, correct. So just keep the Buena Vista.
I'd be okay with
Yeah,
that.
that'd be a lot better, yeah.
I would prefer that.
Thank you.
So you still get the 3 colors, okay, but the only text would be on the one.
Mexican restaurant would be eliminated from the wall sign.
Correct.
Okay.
And the Buena Vista would be, would you move that into the white or?
Would be centered.
Yeah, centered.
Mhm.
In red text?
It would be, yes. Mhm.
To keep
And keep the neon sign.
neon. I mean, technically, they're only allowed 20% of their glass, but since they don't really have anything in their other glass,
I'm sure
in other
that.
buildings, that's under
Yeah.
20%. If we want to nitpick and just look at that little trans in this, an area of glass, you're supposed to look at 20%. 100% for that.
But
if we're looking at the
the
whole.
whole thing.
Yeah, so.
I think that's a good concession.
Okay. All right, would you be all right with that then?
Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, I think it'll read better and
Yeah,
look better, and it's not as busy.
You still have the neon having that, and then the name of the restaurant right above it. And you have plenty of color.
Kevin, you all right with that?
Sure.
Okay.
I was just looking at the, what we were referring to as the goosehead light above that, and I don't think that it is. I think that that's just part of the,
It's part of the deck, the ornateness of the.
yeah, it almost looks like
of the
a
wood.
hood cover
Oh,
from
okay.
an oven exhaust, but yeah, I don't think that that's a light.
Okay.
Is there a light that shines on the sign there now?
There's a light that's below the sign that looks like it's coming down onto the sidewalk, but either way, I'm not proposing
Yeah.
of changing it, so I
Right,
think it's what's there
exactly.
is there.
Okay, good.
The corridor is pretty well lit.
I think so too, yeah. All right, so, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think I'm good.
Yeah,
Are you good?
yeah, okay, so we're gonna look at your
Monument sign.
monument sign, although it's not in the application, but if you're all right with that, okay. All right, sorry, it's not right here. Okay, so you've got one other sign,
Yes.
the so-called monument sign. And I guess,
It is in the application,
It's
there's a
on there, it's just
freestanding
not on
sign.
the-
oh, it is?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's-
And there's a picture of the.
Okay, yeah. All right, what do you guys feel about that?
I'm okay with this.
Okay, it's the same size. Same
Everything.
basic size, it's just,
Yeah, just the wording and the color.
I know in a lot of locations, we try to keep consistency with colors, and I'm sure we try to do that there with everything being black. Just like we were talking about, where Micro Center is, everything's green down there, or Stratford Shopping Center, everything's red. Of course, it's just as two businesses, basically, but
Mhm.
are you guys all right with that color scheme then?
Yeah.
Aesthetic,
Yeah.
black on, two black signs, mixing it up.
I'm not as familiar with that section. I haven't been down that street in probably 2 or so years.
Okay.
Where is this actual monument sign located?
Well, it's on West Avenue.
It's on West Avenue.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes, it is right, there's like an alley.
Mhm.
So the building is,
There's the Great American Pub, then you
Yes.
have,
One
there's
of
one
the-
building, then there's yours, right?
well, there's the Great American Pub, and then there's our building.
Oh, okay.
And then there's like an alley going in,
Oh, okay.
yeah, to the
Kind of
apartment.
sits on the property of the senior building, right?
Yeah, the nursing home, right,
Yes.
Porter's at, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so, you guys are okay with that? Keeps the color scheme,
I think so.
okay. Now
Are
you'll
you
see
okay
it from
with it?
Mars, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Again, this kind of goes back to the painting of the awning to make sure that the colors are all the same. So
yeah.
making sure that, especially I think the green, especially making sure
Okay,
those colors all match.
I'll make sure.
All right,
Okay.
anything else? We want to make sure your address is prominently placed on the building, your street address.
Oh, on the building.
Well, whether it's on the door or somewhere, if there's an emergency, so,
Okay,
okay. so-
or on the awning, the way that it was before?
I would probably leave the awnings just clean, I don't know, maybe it's better on the door. Maybe it's already on there.
There's
What's the
wording
address?
on the awning, so I'm not sure how painting that is.
I just don't see it being painted very well, but see how it comes
So that
out.
goes, yeah. But yeah, we'll just make sure your address number is somewhere
Yeah.
prominently placed on the building.
On the
okay?
building,
Yeah.
okay.
It'll last maybe one season.
Okay, and you may have heard, we talked about the A-frame sandwich board signs, which you're not allowed to have.
Could you, I don't know what they're.
Well, people sit them on the sidewalk.
Oh,
They'll say
okay.
like the menu for today or whatever, so you're not allowed to have those.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so save your money there.
Okay.
All right, okay. All right. And do you have any plans for putting signage or neon or anything like that in your windows?
We are hoping to but maybe with the sign, if you let us keep what we have right now, maybe that wouldn't be necessary, because that would be too much
I agree with
light
you.
coming out.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, so, all right, but if you plan on doing something, you're gonna have to bring it back.
Definitely.
All right, okay. All right. What else, guys? Colin, you all right?
Yeah.
Tim, you're okay?
I'm fine.
You have any questions for the board?
Yes. So for the approval, should I wait for an email or just hear it from you guys or?
You'll get a letter from us.
Okay.
Within a couple days.
Okay. All right.
When do you plan on opening?
Hopefully next week.
Oh, good. Good, lots of luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Kevin, you have any other questions or
No,
comments?
just resubmission of the sign over the door.
And the
So
color,
that we-
with just to
Okay.
verify what they're going to do.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, very good.
You can bring
Do you
that
know
in
if,
with your permit application.
Okay.
Is the sign guy doing this work in the field, like at your restaurant, or is he taking it back to his shop?
He will take it back.
One concern is that there's lettering on the face of that awning, and if it's a different material, then that could bleed through
Okay.
versus, and you'd still see it even though it's painted the same color. You don't want that to happen.
Okay.
Yeah, I know we had that problem, a couple tenants back where that cornerstone is.
Mhm.
There were green awnings and they painted over top, and I think it was more of just somebody went out with a brush and tried to cover over the previous. Didn't look that good. Hopefully they're gonna do a lot better job here, so.
Can't imagine it's cost effective.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so either, but who knows? And I would think it'd be pretty tough getting a straight line on that, but we'll find out, huh? Okay,
That's true.
all right, good. Okay, your turn.
I'll try to take this.
Okay.
The matter of DRB 2018-12, Buena Vista Mexican Restaurant at 18 West Avenue in Wayne. Couple things. Approval of the multicolor awning. Approval of wall signage, but elimination of Mexican restaurant from wall signage. And allowing the neon sign to remain as is, and the approval of a monument sign with the similar colors of the awning. And note that if the painted awning wears or begins to fade, or it's your responsibility to maintain it at your risk. Motion to approve all those things. Can I get a second?
Just add that moving the Buena Vista to the center of the wall.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
With that, I second the motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right,
Thank you
lots
so
of luck
much.
to you. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, last on the agenda tonight is DRB 2018-13, the application of JCHAI 274 South Bryn Mawr Avenue in Bryn Mawr for wall signage and a new building. Thanks for hanging in there.
It's a long day. Hi.
Nice to have you here. Hi there. How are you?
Good evening.
Hi.
Okay, my name is Eric Layton. I have with me my colleague Aaron Miller. We're from Cecil Baker and Partners, the architecture firm working on the project. We also have with us this evening Judith Creed from JHI. And I wanted to start just by having Judy describe what the function of the building is, why we're undertaking the project, and we'll go from there with the description of what it is that you're looking at in the package and answer questions that you might have.
So JHI is an organization that empowers people with disabilities and autism to live and work independently. It's a separate education process from what people with these kinds of disabilities get in school. So going through school and graduating high school does not prepare people with developmental disabilities and autism to live and work independently. They need to be taught. There are not very many organizations in this area that do this work completely and thoroughly. We've been doing it for 30 years. We have measured outcomes, and we now have about 160 people with developmental disabilities and autism in our community living not with their parents anymore, but on their own in the community, and they have jobs. 70% of these people have employment. And that's pretty significant because the national average of people with these kinds of disabilities who have employment is only about 30%. So we're doing a good job. But we really outgrew our little building that we were in, and our classrooms for a particular program called Transitions, where we're starting to train people with these disabilities earlier, even while they're still in high school. So that never really happened before. Usually parents wait until people age out of their school, and then they start thinking about, oh, now what are we going to do? So we're starting this process younger for this community. And we have classes that we give, and the amount of people who want these classes is growing and growing. And so we realized we needed more space and more up-to-date space so that we could teach people technology and things they need to know for tomorrow's markets. And so we spent the year raising money. And we raised it, and Cecil Baker and Associates have been with us with this project for 9 years. It's gone through many iterations, and now it's really happening. And we're having a groundbreaking this coming Wednesday. And we should have it by the beginning of next year, and we're very excited. It's going to be wonderful for the community and everyone. So that's what's going inside.
Great. So with that, thank you, Judy. With that, I will just orient you. You may be familiar with, this is the Jewish Federation of Greater Philadelphia Schwartz campus in Bryn Mawr. This is South Bryn Mawr Avenue. We have the main drive into the campus here. The building that houses the Barak Academy is on this side, and then we have Huebner Hall. The J-High offices are now temporarily in this building. And this is the site of the new building. It was previously this old, we really never confirmed it, but I think a carriage barn. And it had a more modern addition on it at some point, but it really is, as Judy described, for their program purposes, really no longer functional, and the building itself really seems to have reached the end of its useful life. And if you were to head over there right now, you'd see that it's no longer with us. So, and if you're not familiar with this campus, you go in here and there are the sports fields, and then there's the line of buildings that sit along basically the crest of the hill. And then the campus is an arboretum, and down across the ground slopes down away from these buildings, and it's a very bucolic, beautiful setting. There's a stream. It's very well kept. And so that is where the design of this building is derived. We thought of this as you're approaching something more solid, and think of it as the aperture lens or aperture of the camera opening up as you approach. You cross the threshold through a relatively solid mass, and then it's a split level arrangement. The entry level is at the mid level, and you go up a half flight of stairs to the new J-High offices. You go down to where the classroom, an education kitchen, and a cafe would be located. And when you descend the staircase, as you go up the staircase, you get to a balcony edge where you can overlook this 2-story volume. If you descend the staircase into the main gathering space, the glass opens up to these beautiful views in a very sort of therapeutic way, if you will. It's very serene views down the hill into the landscape. So you can see on the uphill side of the building, we've got the sidewalk that leads to the front door with the railing on either side and a canopy that projects to welcome you in with some wood finish. And then the lower level, because of the hillside topography, the lower level is pushed down into the grade, so the classrooms are down in here, and then the offices are in the upper portion of the building. And as you go around the side of the building, the site pathway leads you down to this outdoor patio or terrace area where there could be outdoor seating and tables and chairs. And just inside from here is a teaching, sort of occupational teaching area that we're calling a cafe or the hub. And it's imagined that it would be prepackaged baked goods that they can offer to the folks on the campus.
No, that's not what it's going to be.
Sorry.
It's going to be a coffee shop.
Yes.
And what's important about that distinction is, this hasn't been announced publicly yet, but La Colombe is going to sponsor this, and they're going to give us all their fancy equipment and maintain it for us, and then come in and train us on how to run a coffee shop, because Stacy and I do not know how to run a coffee shop, and their machinery. And what we're going to do is teach our students, our members, all the different skills needed to run a coffee shop. So it'll be retail training, and there'll be some skills that carry over beyond a coffee shop that can be generalized. And we might sell some baked goods.
Right. See, there's a reason why I didn't want to refer to it as Starbucks, because you have this wonderful partner.
Yes, it's not Starbucks. And it's going to be open to the people on the campus, which I think Barrack will be very happy about it, because they always got their kids running up to Wawa up there, so they can stay on the campus.
So they don't have to cross Bryn Mawr Avenue.
That's right, that dangerous track there. So we're very excited about this.
So we're here this evening also because of the signage on the building. Our application includes 2 wall signs. One of them is the lettering or the logo that was recently updated for the JHA organization. And then we have the donor name on the wall of the building over here. Both sets of lettering you'll see are dimensioned. We did the area calculation, and we're, as you can see by the totals, we're well below what we believe would be allowable on the site. The letters themselves would be aluminum with the LED lights inside of them, so that in the evening when they're illuminated, they would cast a glow on the wall or the surface of the canopy behind them. And then we also are here for the site lighting. And what we have, a couple things going on the front here. In addition to the lighting at the signage, we have the handrails on either side of this sidewalk. We weren't able to construct the sidewalk approaching the building as a bridge as we had originally conceived it, but we think that through the articulation of the handrails and the landscaping on either side of it, we're going to give it that feel anyway. The handrails themselves will have the lights in the underside of the grippable surface, so it should cast a subtle glow onto the walking surface really where you want it to be. And then on either side of the front entrance, we have a series of lights that can be adjusted to give a subtle wash of light against this brick. And what we're doing here at these 2 angular surfaces is that we are recessing every so many of the brick in a pattern that gives this play of shadows on the facade and a little bit more richness to the brick wall than you would get with just a normal brick setting.
Also, what we're excited about is we saved money on the bridge, but we're spending it on heating the pavement across there and around, so that when it's snowing, we don't have to worry about getting out there at 4 in the morning and shoveling. So that area should stay pretty safe.
And then around on the downhill side of the building, we have a couple more lights, and here they are located 2 pairs of 2 that uplight the panels of the brick on the patio side of the building. And then out here at our chimney element, another series of lights that will be mounted in the paving at the patio and then in the ground out here at the chimney, to give a subtle wash of light to those features at night and give some life to this patio area in the evening hours.
It's very Frank Lloyd-esque.
I wonder what Cecil Baker would say about that.
Very nice.
Yeah, it does fit well in the landscape, and it works well with the other buildings that are there.
Very
Same
nice.
materials and so on.
Are these going to be downspouts incorporating into the...
They are, so they'll come down at the slope coming off the roof, and then they'll go into a slot that we've designed into the brick wall, so they
Nice.
won't just be stuck in front of it. They'll drop down and go into the ground.
That's really nice.
Thank you.
I think this looks beautiful.
Yeah, really really does.
I think it really, it's very beautiful, and I think it's a great mission.
Thank you, thank you. We think both what it does and the way it looks will be a real asset to the community. We're very excited about this.
It looks great.
It's beautiful, yeah.
Just to help me orientate myself just a little bit here. So the entrance, when you're looking at the little map, or overview of the map, it's pretty much at the number 5. That's just,
Yeah, this new building is going to sit pretty much on the footprint of where the existing building was. So the entrance will be right here. The existing building, you had to walk around down the hill to go in. The door was kind of on the side of it in the addition. But in the new building, you'll approach it pretty much straight on. The parking that you currently see here, you see it here, you see the stripes of the spaces faded here at the front. The road is being pulled closer around this way, and the parking is being introduced as a more traditional parking field along the side of the tennis courts. I can't recall how many spaces are being put over there. It's not a big area. 15.
And then you're increasing the parking from what was there number-wise. This has gone through the land development process.
Yeah.
We've been working on this project for 2+ years now with you guys. So yeah, it's been around for a little bit. We're excited to see it at this point.
and then the patio on the back side. That would be right in between those 2 trees?
It'll be right over here.
Okay.
Sadly, since this aerial was taken, these are Google Earth images. You can tell by the path here. But since this image was last taken, this tree was it had to be cut down. But the patio will be right along this edge over here, so a little bit towards that tree cap.
What's the timeline for construction?
Well, now, we're constructing now, and we hope it to be finished in February 2019. We were hoping we would get it in this year, but you know how it goes.
It's 9,000 square feet at the most, so it should be a pretty efficient, quick process. Not as quick as we might like it to be, but on the shorter side of things.
With the facade on the outside, you have the brick, and then is that vinyl or is that?
No, that is
Just for signage?
it's fiber cement, so hardy siding, hardy plank siding. So it'll look like wood clapboards, but it will be of a fiber cement product, and that there's more longevity in that. It will hold the paint longer and be less of a maintenance. Should be no maintenance.
Yeah, we detailed it so that you never have any actual butt joints of the hardy plank. With we've used the module of the 12-foot module of the hardy plank and introduced reveals. So.
Any other comments, questions? You can change it. Yeah, looks good. Yeah, very loud.
Hopefully you'll all come to our opening.
Kevin,
The
any other
township has
comments?
been wonderful.
No, we've been.
By the way, we
thank
thank you.
Thank you. We've been working with them for a while now on the whole land development issue and trying to get through that process so that it was fitting within here, trying to minimize the disturbance and things like that. And obviously it sits pretty far off the road, so minimal visual changes from the roadside.
Okay, great. All right. Any other questions for the board? Everybody's okay? All right, good. Tim, you want to take this?
In the matter of DRB 2018-13, the applicant of J-High, the property at 274 South Radnor Avenue, approving the wall signage and the facade of the new building. I move for the approval.
Wait a second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Good luck.
We're excited.
Thank you.
Thank you for all your help. Thank you.
All right.
Your hand.
Any other for our work tonight?
It's here.
Sure.
It's doing
Okay.
it. Thank you.
Good. We'll see you tonight. All right.
Thank you.